Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I am doing a book review of Feral Creatures by Kira Jane Buxton. So this is a book from 2021. It's a sci-fi post-apocalyptic book from Grand Central Publishing. It is the sequel to Hollow Kingdom, a book that I really loved when it first came out, I think in like 2020 or 2019. As I said, I absolutely love Hollow Kingdom, so I was very excited to dive into this sequel. It came out last year, but because I'm cheap and I don't buy hardcovers, I waited until the library had a copy. Then I forgot about it and forgot to get it from the library. Then I was reminded of it, and then I had to fit it into my TBR. But finally, I got to it, and it was well worth the wait. Honestly, I hate hardcovers. They should be like the special ones you buy if you really like the book, or like only libraries buy them or something. It's not the first book that you should sell, because I'm not going to spend like $35 on a book if I don't know if it's good. Like, give me a break. Anyway, as expected, Feral Creatures is a worthy successor to Hollow Kingdom, and a great mix of humor, tension, brilliant animal puns and metaphors, and heart. So what is it about? So, when the world last checked in with its favorite Cheeto addict, the planet has been overrun by flesh-hungry beasts, and nature has started reclaiming her territory from humankind. St, the intrepid crow, alongside his bloodhound bestie, Dennis, had set about saving pets who had become trapped in their homes after humanity went the way of the dodo. That is, dear reader, until St stumbled upon something so rare and so precious that he vowed to do everything in his power to safeguard what he could, quite literally, be humanity's last hope for survival. But in a wild world plagued by prejudiced animals, feather-raising environments, new threats so terrifying they make zombies look like baby bunnies, and a horrendous dearth of cheesy snacks, what's a crow to do? Why, wing it on a bright, big-hearted... I can't talk. Why wing it on a big-hearted, death-defying adventure? That's what. Joined by a fabulous cast of animal characters, St faces many new challenges, including his biggest one yet. Parenthood. That was hard to read. It's like blue and black, and it's like dark in here. Anyway, maybe I should get my eyes checked. I read too much, I guess. So yes, definitely, you have to read Hollow Kingdom before you read Feral Creatures. And Hollow Kingdom is a fantastic book, so it's not like it's a chore. But definitely, if you haven't read Hollow Kingdom, do not listen to the rest of this review, because there are spoilers for book 1, obviously. So, but no spoilers, as I said, for book 2. While the first book dealt with adapting and finding found family, this novel is about letting certain family members go. It's a book about the expectations we place on our children, about overprotection, but also about mutated humans fighting tigers and birds. That being said, while I definitely enjoyed it, it didn't draw me in as much as the first one did. This could be for more like external reasons. When I read the first one, I was babysitting my sister's kid as she slept while I was eating chocolates on a comfy couch. For this one, I could only read it in a few snatches at night because my family was going through a flu. So it's possible I was just more tired when I read it, so I was like less engaged because my brain was less engaged. But either way, I just found it a little bit less compelling in the storyline. So St was an irritated grump in the first book, which was very funny. But in this one, he's fretful to the point of being a helicopter parent. As someone who doesn't jive with that type of overprotective version of parenting, I found it kind of more annoying than funny. This could be because my kids are one step ahead of D in terms of being feral. Though, I mean, my 5-year-old just turned 5 and she's already reading at a level the next grade up, so brag. Seriously, I'm the parent, though, who sees their kid climbing a big tree and is like, how high can you go? So I didn't really identify with St at all in that regard. I was like, dude, you gotta let her be your own person. You have to let her live her life. I did, though, appreciate the journey and growth on his part in that regard. It was very well done. I mean, you kind of knew it was going to happen, but it kind of does show what a lot of parents do go through. I mean, it's not like I don't worry about my kids or worry constantly about them, but it is hard kind of to let them go the first time they kind of, want to cross the road on their own, that kind of thing. I found the memories and flashbacks he had of Big Jim and Tiffany S were almost more emotional for me than the main plot, perhaps because in this one it shed light on their relationship in a way that we didn't see in book 1. So it was almost a more kind of subtle way of showing how humans can be real dicks. And that part was actually more distressing to me than anything. I felt really bad for Tiffany, obviously, but also for Jim, and just kind of the way that people treat them because of who they are is just it's a very poignant critique. I also wondered, though, in terms of realism of the book, how in the world a bunch of birds kept a baby alive, as there are humans who seem to struggle with this with good reason. So I was like, I don't know. That being said, though, the novel is still engrossing and unputdownable. The narrator has an easy to follow and entertaining style that balances ST's commentary, plot, and flashbacks in a way that felt kind of organic and flowed nicely. The action scenes were fun and easy to follow, and I love the idea of Dee being like a huge badass. That was really cool. The weird mutant humans were interesting. They were not what I expected going into this book, given what they were like in the first book. And the new characters, especially the tigers, were really fun, and I liked the inclusion of the aquatic animals, though I do wonder how Dee managed to avoid getting hypothermia, but I guess that's beside the point. The plot does meander a little bit. The realism isn't as strong as in the first book, as I clearly have pointed out. And sometimes the pacing is a bit off, but I was never not entertained. This book is entirely entertaining, and I did very, very much enjoy it. In terms of humor, the pop culture references are just enough to make you laugh, but not enough to overwhelm the story. Most of the humor comes from ST's animal perception of human nature and his terrible but funny puns. Related to that, the most masterful part of this book and of Hollow Kingdom is how realistic the characters are in terms of being animals, yet still using English to tell the story. It helps that ST has a grasp of human culture and language, so it doesn't feel like a fantasy, but he also only uses metaphors and similes that are related to animals. He even modifies classic idioms to the animal kingdom, which I thought was really clever and really fun. Not only does it show an impressive knowledge and love of animals on behalf of the author, but it keeps ST from seeming like a human in a crow costume as opposed to a crow proper. So in terms of that aspect, I just think that she absolutely nailed ST feeling like an actual animal, like a real bird. So it's just so unique and so fun. Overall, if you liked Hollow Kingdom, or if you loved Hollow Kingdom, I do recommend you pick up the sequel. It is really fun, and I'm still waiting to purchase a copy of Hollow Kingdom. I keep putting it on my Christmas list, and no one keeps buying it for me. I mean, come on. Come on. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah.